In today's video, I'll be showing you the 6 assets you should buy immediately once you retire. And these are not stock picks. They're structural assets that protect your independence, your flexibility, and your ability to stay in control for the next 30 years. Through working with clients who have retired without putting these assets into place first, I've discovered that retirement success isn't defined by return, but it's defined by stability and durability and how much optionality we can build into our retirement plan. And that's exactly why I'm making this video today, to show you the assets that actually determine whether retirement feels calm and controlled or reactive and fragile, and why most retirees focus in the wrong places. So if you're new to the channel, my name is Benjamin Brandt. I've been a financial advisor for almost a million years, and I want to help you have an even better retirement. All right, so asset number 1 would be a personal liability umbrella policy, or a PLUP. This one's very simple and straightforward. It's inexpensive, but it is incredibly important. So as a retiree, you have, of course, accumulated assets, right? You've got your house, brokerage accounts, retirement accounts, right? These are your assets, but you also have liabilities. Now, I'm not talking about debt. I'm talking about legal liabilities. Who's going to sue you? If you drive, or if you're responsible for other drivers, or if you own a home that people visit, you have a liability that you should insure against. So a personal liability umbrella policy, or a PLUP, or a PLUP, I suppose you could call it, it sits on top of your homeowners and auto insurance, right? Picture an umbrella over the top of the insurance that you already have, and it provides an additional layer of protection. So for a relatively small annual premium, we're talking $100 or a few $100s, you can add $1 or $2 million of additional coverage. Now, why does this matter? Well, it's because you want to protect your assets from liability, because getting sued just is not that much fun, 1, and 2, because you need your assets to fund your even better retirement. Another reason why this additional protection might be valuable is because for many retirees, their home is their largest asset, and that home may function as a great contingency asset later in life, and we want to protect that, right? Your home might be part of a downsizing strategy where we have additional capital to fund our retirement, or it might be part of a long-term care funding strategy where we exchange our home for home care or nursing home care, whatever it is. And so protecting those contingencies really matter. An umbrella policy converts catastrophic legal risk into just a simple, fixed, predictable cost. So you're paying a very small amount of money in the form of an insurance premium because we want to transfer that risk to the insurance company. Before we move on to the next item, if you love learning about retirement topics, and if you're watching this video, I'm guessing that you do, I think you'll love my weekly newsletter, This Week in Retirement. So every week I bring you my top 2 or 3 resources across all of retirement media, everything from audio podcasts to YouTube videos to newspaper articles, things like that. I find you all the best stuff so that you don't have to look for it yourself. So just visit thisweekinretirement.com or click the link in the video description and join us there. And moving on to asset number 2, a taxable brokerage account, what we could call the missing middle. So most retirees have 2 buckets. We have our traditional IRA and we have maybe a Roth IRA. The traditional IRA is our income engine, right? That's where our monthly cash flows often come from. And every dollar that we take is a taxable dollar, dollar for dollar. The Roth IRA is usually the long-term growth engine. It's usually invested more aggressively, right? We might spend it much later in life, or we might pass it on to our heirs. But what's missing then for many households is that middle bucket, the taxable brokerage account. A brokerage account is incredibly flexible. When you sell something inside of it, you're typically only taxed on the gain, not the full dollar withdrawn. And long-term capital gains rates often come with lower rates than ordinary income tax rates, right? So this makes your brokerage account ideal for big ticket purchases, right? Maybe that's a car or a home remodel or a big trip or just helping out a family member, right? It gives you flexibility without automatically triggering dollar for dollar taxable income like taking a dollar from our traditional IRA might. It's not flashy, it doesn't get marketed heavily, but it's one of the most powerful flexibility assets in retirement. Your IRA money is money that you need today, your Roth money is money that you need in the future, and your taxable brokerage account for anything that comes up in between. If you don't yet have a brokerage account, well, that's a great asset to invest in on the run-up to retirement with any extra cash. Asset number 3, this is a bit controversial, but longevity insurance through deferring Social Security. So this third asset isn't something that you buy from an insurance agent. It's something most retirees already own, but don't always optimize correctly, and that's Social Security. So delaying the larger of 2 Social Security benefits, especially in the instance of a married couple, is one of the most powerful longevity hedges available. Every year that you delay between full retirement and age 70, your benefit grows and it's inflation adjusted on top of that. That larger check is also going to become your survivor benefit. So by delaying strategically, you're not just increasing your income, you're buying longevity protection and surviving spouse stability. So most retirees think in terms of how quickly can I get my Social Security benefit? But I think a better question is, how does this fit into the 30-year picture of my retirement? And how do I coordinate my benefits with my retirement portfolio? So you're not buying income for next year. You're buying income into your 80s and 90s and beyond. That's really longevity insurance. And I think that's an asset worth investing in. Defer your Social Security as long as you comfortably can, sometimes uncomfortably can. Moving on to asset number 4, a retirement runway. So one of the first assets you should buy immediately once you retire is what I call the retirement runway. This is not your 3 to 6 month emergency fund. This would be in addition to that. And this is deliberately setting aside anywhere from 24 to 60 months of spending in stable, accessible assets so that your lifestyle is not dependent on what the stock market does this quarter. Personally, I invest in the following asset classes for my retirement runway. Now, these may or may not be totally appropriate for you, so you got to do your own due diligence. But number 1 is a money market account. Mine is in my non-IRA brokerage account, right? That's that middle account as we talked about. Number 2 is short-term bonds, both government and corporate. Number 3 is intermediate-term bonds, both government and corporate. And number 4 is long-term bonds, government and corporate. So really that should be seven different bond funds in your first bucket, so to speak, if you like the bucket ideas. Yes, I am talking about long-term bonds. They are widely hated right now ever since 2022. Yes, if interest rates continue to rise, you're going to continue to hate your long-term bonds. But when and if long-term rates drop, you're going to love your long-term bonds. Remember that a well-diversified portfolio means always having to say you're sorry, right? If we're well-diversified, something's going to be red basically all the time. When you retire, you're no longer accumulating, you're drawing off of your portfolio. And sequence of returns now matters in a way that it never did before. It didn't matter while we were working, right? A bad year or two in the beginning of retirement can do far more damage than those exact same bad 2 years in the middle or at the end of your retirement. So sequence really matters, and that's where our retirement runway comes in. So when we invest in a retirement runway, we're buying time, right? We're buying time to let the stock market recover. We're buying time to help make more thoughtful decisions, give ourselves some room. We want time to avoid selling our equities at a downturn. And we want time to adjust our plan without panicking, right? We want time to adjust our income within the limits of the retirement income guardrails, and having that retirement runway gives you time to do those sort of things. So when we can buy time, that's what we want to do in retirement. Without a retirement runway, we're going to have to react to whatever bad thing is happening in the market, right? China invades Taiwan, we start to bomb Iran. You're going to feel like you need to do something. If you have your retirement runway in place, you know exactly where next month's retirement paycheck is going to come, and next quarter, and next year, and 2 or 3 years from now. So you don't have to do anything in reaction to what's happening in the news because you were already prepared in advance. So a retirement runway reduces your reactivity, and reactivity in retirement is incredibly expensive. And then asset number 5, aging in place upgrades. Now, this one doesn't really show up on most financial plans, but it probably should. If you're confident that your current home is your forever home, you should consider investing in it strategically in order to maximize the amount of time that you get to spend there, how long you get to live there. So small upgrades made today can extend your independence dramatically. We can invest in any number of things, and of course, you know your needs better than I do, but what about something like a curbless shower or lever-style door handles instead of doorknobs? What if we reinforced all of the railings in the home? What if we improved the lighting or put motion sensors on our lights? What if we took our laundry from the basement and brought it up to the main floor? Would that help us live in our house longer? Could we install grab bars in the bathroom, right? These are things that maybe could be stylish, but we want them to be really functional. And the point being is that if you look at the cost of assisted living, right? Assisted living can easily cost $4,000 or more per month. Let's call that $50,000 a year. If we spend $10,000 in home modifications today, and it helps us stay independent and live in our house just one more year, well, that's a very real return on investment, right? We're turning a $10,000 home improvement into a $50,000 savings by staying in our home 1 year longer and not going into assisted living or long-term care, right? And you'd probably choose to stay in your home as long as possible. So it's really a double win, a return on investment and a lifestyle improvement. So when you make these improvements, you're not just improving safety, you're buying independence, right? You're buying dignity, you're buying time in a home that you probably prefer to other options, right? That is an asset worth buying as soon as we possibly can. And that leads us to asset number 6, a health span investment. So this is the final asset that is probably the most commonly overlooked, and that is your physical durability, right? Strength training, mobility, preventative care, some very simple investments in home workouts that could be like a weighted vest or kettlebells, just one kettlebell maybe, or resistance bands. Maybe we upgrade to a personal trainer for some accountability. Loss of muscle mass is one of the biggest predictors of loss of independence as we age. In fact, there's even a name for it, sarcopenia, which I know sounds like a lovely island in Italy. It's not. It's referring to the gradual loss of muscle mass that's going to impact every single retiree, no matter how healthy you currently are. So the longer you can move well and live independently and avoid preventable injury, the longer your retirement plan works the way it was designed. And we want you to spend this money on fun stuff as opposed to not so much fun stuff. It's not about aesthetics. Of course, it would be wonderful to have a six-pack, or so I'm told. But what this is really about is longevity of lifestyle. Now, for a little extra credit, do some research online and find out if there is a DEXA scan or an in-body scan available in your area. It's not very expensive. The place I go to charges me $20 per session, and it's something you do once or twice a year. And what this does is it gives you real data on your lean muscle mass. And you naturally lose muscle mass as you age, and an annual scan will tell you how much you're losing and whether or not the strength training that you're doing is actually working. Maybe instead of losing 3% of your muscle mass per year, like many retirees are going to do, you lose instead 1% per year because you're doing that resistance exercise and you're staying on top of it by gathering this type of data. Investing in your health span can extend your financial lifespan, right? This is an asset that you can start building immediately. By the way, if you want help building your retirement runway or managing your portfolio or implementing any of the things that we're talking about in the video today, click the link in the description and check out our Retire Ready Blueprint. So until next time, my name is Benjamin Brandt. I hope this video has helped make your retirement even better, and I'll see you on the next one.